Hello my friends. Welcome back to Storytelling English. Today, I want to tell you a story that sounds almost impossible. It is the story of a man who fought one of the most powerful empires in human history without carrying a single weapon, no army, no guns, no tanks, no violence. And yet, this man helped change the future of an entire nation. His name was Mahatma Gandhi. The world knows him as Mahatma Gandhi. But before he became a symbol of freedom, before millions followed him, and before his face appeared in history books around the world, he was simply a shy little boy, a boy who was afraid to speak in public, a boy who had no idea that one day he would challenge the mighty British Empire. This is his story. The story begins on October 2nd, 1869, in Porbandar, a small coastal town in India. Gandhi was born into a respected family. His father worked in government, and his mother was a deeply religious woman who believed in honesty, self-discipline, and kindness. As a child, Gandhi was quiet and reserved. He was not the strongest student in school, nor was he the most popular. He often kept to himself and avoided attention. Nobody looked at young Gandhi and thought, "This boy will change the world." In fact, he seemed like an ordinary child, but history often hides extraordinary people behind ordinary faces. When Gandhi grew older, his family wanted him to become a lawyer. At the age of 18, he traveled to England to study law. Leaving India was a huge step. Everything in England felt different. The language, the culture, the food, the people. Gandhi struggled to fit in. He tried to dress like an English gentleman. He bought expensive clothes and tried to learn new social skills. But, deep inside, he often felt lonely. Still, he completed his studies and became a lawyer, confident and hopeful. He returned to India, expecting success, but life had other plans. His legal career was a disaster. He was so nervous in court that he sometimes struggled to speak. Clients were difficult to find, cases were difficult to win. The future looked uncertain. Then, an opportunity appeared. In 1893, Gandhi accepted a job in South Africa. It seemed like a simple business opportunity, but that decision changed his life forever. One night, while traveling by train in South Africa, Gandhi experienced something that would shape the rest of his life. He had purchased a first-class ticket. He was sitting quietly in his seat when a white passenger complained about his presence. An official approached Gandhi and ordered him to move to a lower class compartment. Gandhi refused. He had a valid ticket. He had broken no rules. The official became angry. At the next station, Gandhi was physically thrown off the train. His luggage was thrown after him as he sat alone in the cold station that night. He felt humiliation, anger, and confusion. But he also felt something else. Determination. That moment transformed him. Instead of accepting injustice, he decided to fight it. Not with violence, not with hatred, but with courage and truth. Over the next 21 years in South Africa, Gandhi fought against racial discrimination. He organized protests. He encouraged people to resist unfair laws peacefully. He spent time in prison. He faced threats and criticism, but his movement continued to grow. During this period, Gandhi developed a philosophy that would make him famous around the world. He called it Satyagraha, the force of truth. The idea was simple, but revolutionary. You could resist injustice without using violence. You could challenge oppression without becoming an oppressor yourself. Many people thought this idea was foolish. How could peaceful resistance defeat powerful governments? Gandhi believed it could, and eventually he would prove it. In 1915, Gandhi returned to India. The country was under British rule. Millions of Indians lived in poverty, but many had little political freedom. The British Empire controlled much of daily life. Gandhi traveled across the country. He met farmers, workers, students, ordinary people. He listened to their struggles and learned about their hardships. The more he traveled, the more convinced he became that India deserved freedom. Soon, Gandhi became a leader in the Indian independence movement. But he led differently from most revolutionaries. Instead of encouraging violence, he encouraged peaceful resistance. Instead of attacking his enemies, he challenged their conscience. One of the most famous moments of Gandhi's life came in 1930. The British government had imposed a tax on salt. To many people, this may sound like a small issue, but salt was essential for everyday life. Poor families depended on it. Gandhi decided to challenge the law. He announced a long march to the sea. For 24 days, he walked hundreds of miles. Thousands joined him. Newspapers around the world followed the story. When Gandhi finally reached the coast, he bent down, picked up a handful of salt, and symbolically broke British law. It was a simple act, but it shook the empire. Suddenly, the entire world was paying attention. The British arrested him, but they could not arrest the idea. He represented that the movement grew stronger. Millions of Indians joined protests, boycotts, and campaigns demanding independence. Gandhi was imprisoned several times, yet each arrest only increased his popularity. People began calling him Mahatma, which means great soul. To many, he became the moral voice of a nation. However, Gandhi's journey was not without controversy. Some people believed he was too willing to compromise. Others believed peaceful resistance was too slow. Critics argued that stronger action was necessary. Even today, historians continue to debate certain aspects of his life and decisions, but there is no debate about his influence. He changed the way people thought about resistance. He inspired leaders around the world. Among them was Martin Luther King Jr., who later used nonviolent protest during the American Civil Rights Movement. Another was Nelson Mandela, who fought against racial oppression in South Africa. Gandhi's ideas traveled far beyond India. Finally, in 1947, after decades of struggle, India achieved independence. It was a historic victory. The dream Gandhi had spent years pursuing had become reality, but freedom came with a terrible cost. The partition of India and Pakistan led to violence and suffering. Communities that had lived together for generations suddenly found themselves divided. Thousands lost their lives. Millions were displaced. Gandhi was heartbroken. He spent his final months trying to promote peace and unity. Then came the tragic day that shocked the world. January 30th, 1948. Gandhi was walking to a prayer meeting in New Delhi. As he greeted people, a man stepped forward. Moments later, gunshots rang out. Gandhi collapsed. The man who had preached peace for decades was gone. He was 7 years old. News of his death spread around the world. Millions mourned. Leaders from every continent paid tribute. The man with no army, the man with no wealth, the man with no political office. Had changed history forever. Today, more than 70 years later, Gandhi remains one of the most recognized figures in the world. Some admire him, some criticize him, some debate his legacy, but nobody can ignore his impact. Because Gandhi proved something extraordinary. He proved that courage does not always come from strength. Sometimes it comes from patience, sometimes it comes from truth, and sometimes one determined person can inspire millions and change the course of history. And so, my friend, we come to the end of this remarkable journey. The journey of a shy boy from a small town who became one of the most influential people in human history. A man who challenged an empire without violence. A man who believed that truth could be stronger than fear. A man whose story continues to inspire the world. If you enjoyed this story, leave a comment and tell us what surprised you the most about Gandhi's life. And don't forget to subscribe to Storytelling English for more powerful stories from history. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep exploring the stories that shaped our world.